UFOs, ghosts, ancient civilizations, the supernatural. We may never know the truth about what's really going on, but it sure is fun to speculate. This is Conspiracy Fact Review.
That was my favorite friggin' band from back when I was a wee lad and I started sneaking into the bars around 87. Started being able to see them legally around 89. And that is SVEN GALI. That is their new song, the new video off the newest album, 3. And that is Hurt. Don't want to have to hurt you, but I will. And I am here with their bass player, Sean. I am going to get Sean MAHER. I'm going to get into a little bit of the wiki. Going to get into a little bit of the wiki here. I didn't realize you guys had one, and it's friggin' awesome that you do. SVEN GALI is a Canadian hard rock heavy metal band which originally started as a cover band in 1987 in Hamilton, Ontario, and Niagara Falls. Canada, that is, for our American listeners. The 2018 lineup includes all 3 remaining original members, Dave Wanless on vocals, Andy Frank on guitar, and Shawn Minden on bass, as well as new members, Sean Williamson on guitar and Dan Fila on drums. Both of those guys are from Varga, another fantastic band from this area in the Hammer. And I gotta scroll this up. There we go. SVEN GALI played covers locally for several years in 1989, shortly after changing their set list to 20% covers and 80% originals. Back then, we used to have to do a lot of covers, and SVEN GALI was one of the first bands to do more covers or more originals than covered. That was kick-ass. The drummer Steve McGregor left the band. He had named and formed the band at the beginning, decided to leave, was replaced by Rob McEachern. That's where I came in. I know Rob and Jamie, the Terror Twins there. And SVEN GALI, yeah, SVEN GALI earned the reputation for their live shows. And I'm not going to read this whole thing off, because this is not like a regular interview. I don't roll that way. This is going to be a talk with one of my favorite players of one of my favorite bands that I got. It's very rare when you get to have one of your favorite signed bands that you love actually happen to be a band you got to see in the clubs in your town before they made it big. And there's a few around here we got to do that with. We've got SVEN, we have Harem Scarum, Varga, so we got a lot of talent coming out of the Niagara area here. So actually, without any further ado, Sean, how are you doing, buddy?
Great. How you doing, Steven?
I am loving life today. I'm starting to get a nice tan. I'm back roofing again, so I'm losing weight. So I'm a happy kid.
Amazing.
Yes, yes, yes.
It's
So,
a pleasure
okay.
to be with you. It's going to be an amazing show, I have a feeling.
Yeah,
With
it
all-
should be fun. We were talking a few minutes beforehand, and Sean was already just like blowing me away in like the 4 minute conversation we were having. I was like, dude, you got to save something for the show. I wanted to hit record, and I'm like, shit, we're on in 5 minutes. But yeah, okay, so we're gonna start with we'll get the music part out of the way, and then we'll get into the conspiracy stuff. So the new album, it's three, and to me, you guys have heard this a lot. Dave has said it in interviews you guys have done, recent interviews, that for that first album, had it not been if it had come out like just 2 friggin' years earlier, you guys would have hit the same heights that you see with Skid Row and stuff. But that's my opinion and the opinion of just about anybody who's ever seen a SVEN GALI show. And what really, this new stuff, when you guys started, I was losing my mind. I was like, oh, this is friggin' awesome. And then, dun, 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 boom, friggin' COVID takes a big shit on everybody's head. And it's like, so, and I feel the same way. If it wasn't for COVID, this album would be a lot huger because you guys would be out there doing those shows. And Dave's still got the friggin' pipes. It's not too many guys in their 50s that can still kill it the way Dave Wanless does.
He can kill it. I can't believe it. He kills it the same way now as he did back in the day. I can still hear him above the monitors when we play live. It's unreal.
Mm-hmm. It really is. Well, I mean, that was the magic back then. I used to watch you guys. Actually, maybe it's probably not a good thing. I was like 18, 19 when I started seeing you guys playing at Uncle Sam's. And there was one night Dario and Dave came up to do an acoustic thing, and they'd obviously had a few wobbly pops in them, and they still like vocally, like they were slumped in their seats, but vocally the harmonies were there. Dave was sounding amazing, and I was like, I want to be able to do that, and it was my mission to learn to sing drums.
We were conditioned back then. We could probably drink a lot and play, no problem. It was probably the sign of the times.
Oh, it definitely was when we were kids. Well, like you grew up thinking that way. You got your Skid Row. Sebastian fell into that trap too. That was.
We just did a show with Skid Row last year at the Welland Arena. It was a blast. So nice to have the two bands together, play a show.
That was Sebastian, or was it?
Sebastian Bach, yeah.
That's awesome.
And Firehouse, I think, was on the bill.
Right, CJ. That's another one of my favorite singers, and he's on my Facebook too. Like Dave, yeah. Like you guys got just. I don't even know where to go with that. It's just incredible to me, and it gives hope to a lot of people, especially guys my age that are still trying to record albums, that you guys can still sound this good and still kick out heavy shit. Like I saw a review, I think it was Sleaze Rocks or something, and it was kind of bad actually. It's like the guy was pissed off that you guys didn't sound like you didn't just rehash that first album.
And you know what? The guys in Slick Toxic actually stuck up for us. Great guys like Neil Busby, great drummer, great band. We used to cross paths with them on the way when we were touring back in the day. Mm-hmm. So nice to see the band sticking together, right?
Absolutely. Okay, yeah, now I remember where I wanted to go. Now with because I had brought up D because his voice was so pivotal. It was Dave and D the whole way. Who's doing the backups for you now? I know you're singing some, right?
Yeah, I'm singing pretty much most of the stuff now. It's a little bit different now because there's some songs we don't do in the set that we used to do that were really focused on D, so we kind of had to rejig things a little bit.
Right.
To be working, and our fans are enjoying it. We had a sold out show in Hamilton. We had to cancel at Hamilton Place. We had the Sound of Music Festival. We were supposed to do the Friday nights. Things were starting to take off. We're starting to get some radio play in the U.S. again. It's unbelievable. You know, like when we left, we were touring with Def Leppard. We did Pearl Jam shows. We were touring in the U.S. We were touring all over, having a great time. And then things kind of just stopped and changed instantly. It was just like very surreal.
Right. Yeah, because it's pretty much shut down well, actually, bringing up Firehouse, apparently things are rocking pretty good down in Texas and Florida. What do you think about? Okay, you know what? Let's kind of slide into it because it is a part of the music. This nonsense that's going on with these masks. Everybody by now has to realize that sunlight and temperatures over 70 degrees do and always have, at least until Justin Trudeau was elected. They've always killed viruses. That's why flu season happens in November when everybody goes for their flu shots.
Have you seen all the G7 leaders? He's not wearing a mask, and they're all hugging and kissing.
They're hugging, yeah. They're partying it up, man.
I'm not going to take the vaccine. I'm not an anti-vaxxer, but it's not something I want to personally put in my body. And I'm not saying it's a bad thing or a good thing. It's just not something I want to do.
Well, you know what, actually, dude? The problem is it is a bad thing for one main reason is because it's only for emergency use, and that's why we're still. Doug Ford's got us in the lockdown. As long as we're in a lockdown, that's considered an emergency. They can keep using these vaccinations because they're not approved by the FDA, only for emergency use. And we know the results of. There's so many people. Well, we don't got to worry. Most of the people listening to this are hip to all of everything I'm saying right now. Anyway, the CDC site. You can go to the adverse reactions page to see everything that's happening from all these 3 vaccines. The fact that they take 2 of them, they even took 2 of them off the market for a while, and now they're trying to send them to another country. You know, like
Trump's emails all got leaked that it wasn't bats, it was man-made. We know this now, so but we have to figure out. We have to get to the bottom of it, and we have to keep ourselves safe. There's definitely a virus, but whether it kills you, whether it's overblown, whatever it is, it's hard to know what the real truth is.
The insanity with the masks, though, that's another thing of his emails. He even says in his emails, masks aren't going to do it. The mask says right on the box, not for medical use.
Well, I was just down in Mexico, and I'm building a house there right now. Flew into Texas, went to Houston. Nobody had a mask on. All the restaurants were open. And I came to Canada instead of going to the COVID hotel and paying all this money. I walked across the border. There was no issues. I'm back up right now and back in Canada. Done it twice now. So.
Wow. Eh? Yeah. It's weird to well, it's even figure just going into a restaurant, you have to have the mask on until you get to the table, then you can take it off and sit down. It's just
some people are very brainwashed by it, and they will not. You'll walk by them on the street, and they'll walk across the street, put a mask on, or they'll get mad at you if you don't put a mask on. But in the States right now, I think it's a lot different, and the vibe is kind of changing now. Things are opening up, and I think it's changing.
Well, there's a lot of common sense going on. Yeah. Actually, have you heard of what do you feel about rap? Are you into rap music at all?
I love all music. Music is art.
Okay, so have you heard of Tom MacDonald?
I have.
He's a Canadian dude. He is. I've been all day. Actually, I'm going to be playing a couple clips of him a little later too, just because of the topics of this guy's stuff. Have you heard his stuff? You've heard of him, but have you heard his stuff?
I haven't heard all of it, but I have heard of it.
Okay, actually, you know what? I'm going to take 1 minute of this right now, and then we'll get back to the album and stuff too. But because of what you were talking about, how it's getting better, this guy from Canada, BC, lives down in the States. Now, his girlfriend, too, who does all his videos, is also a rapper. She's really good, and she's from Canada. But they're telling it like it is. They found a niche because they're not on a label at all. One of the songs is You Can't Cancel Me, because he does all of his own stuff. It's just wild. But here is one clip from it.
I can't be canceled. There's no way that you can stop me. I'm fully independent. There's no label who can drop me. Y'all been starting rumors. Let me help you with some. Yeah.
He's a racist. He's a sexist. He's in love with Donald Trump.
Y'all can't cancel me. My life is scandal free. There ain't no sponsors taking losses, cause the brand is me. My hands are clean, my family and my fans agree. Y'all can't cancel me for facts because you're mad and weak. Go ahead and tell the world I'm ugly and racist. I braid my hair and I don't care about cultural appropriation. I moved to the ghetto, lived in the ghetto, there's no Caucasians, and still I loved every single one of my neighbors. How's a man say I'm clickbait if he gonna use this face to get clicks on his page? Y'all hypocrites are made. But I ain't tripping about these bullies, it ain't 6th grade. Go ahead and diss me trying to sell a couple mixtapes. I'm not a take my face and my name, paste it on the front page. I'm already famous and you'll never change it by hating or claiming you'll take it away. My grind wicked, write my rhymes different. You can try to quantify, define limits as a dying gimmick and deny I'm winning. This is pure fire, this ain't white privilege. I do what I want, get all the Gucci and Louis Vuitton out of my closet, out of my crib. I do not want it, that is for kids. That is for rappers who ask you to produce their beats for free, pretending online like they rich. I am not playing it safe. I said what I said. It is what it is.
Now, that's not the one even about the controversy, really. But
No
this
cancel
dude
culture.
is,
I love it.
you know, this dude, I loved it as a Canadian guy doing it too, because some of his stuff is about Illuminati and about all of that stuff, and he's killing it.
Well, I can tell you a little bit about the Masons because I'm a 32nd degree of the Freemasons.
Oh, look at me losing it at home. I'm not even looking at the well. Okay, quickly for listeners, we're about to get into the Masons, but if you're listening on TalkStream Live or iTunes and that, go down to revolution.radio or www.freedomslips.com. Join in the chat room, and you can join in the fun. We'll be sharing some links and stuff. And yeah, you heard it right, chat room guys. People in chat, you're probably losing their minds right now that you're a Mason. Okay, let's get into that. Tell me what you know about the Masons. When did you become one, and what made you want to become one?
Well, my father was a Mason, and he joined probably in 1934. I have his paperwork, and it made me want to join. So, you know, I got kind of scattered out to become a member. And within 5 years, I rose up to a 32nd degree. Actually, I got my the Supreme Prince of the Royal Secret 32nd degree.
Oh, that is cool.
Yeah. There's my 32nd degree. I got that in 2009. So it's a great organization. And it's amazing to be a part of it.
Okay, I was just looking in the chat room and people are like, oh, you know, so that's kind of interesting. All right, okay.
Members of the Fraternal Order in the United States, Canada, Europe. You'd be surprised.
And now you got in because your father was there. You have to be approached by somebody to become a Mason?
Masons do not, they do not scout for people. They do not ask people to join the organization. That's the way it is. We do not go out and look for new people to join the organization. It's not the way we roll.
Well, if someone wanted to become a Mason, how would they?
They would have to ask to become a Mason and be serious about it. They would probably go through about 1.5 years of interviews before they get approached to do the first degree, the Mason.
Because there's one not too. I'm interested. I'd like to learn to see what it's about. There's one just around the corner from me that popped up a couple of years ago, and I was like, no friggin' way. I was like, they're popping up.
Unless you become a Mason, you have to become a Mason to find out what it's about, and you can't really learn about it unless you are a Mason.
Right.
So it's like it's catch-22. Either you go in it full throttle and you want to be part of the organization in the fraternal or the fraternal order, or you just kind of look around, see what you can find out about it. You know, you'll never really find out everything about it because
you'd have to become a full-fledged, all the way up member type deal to know everything, right?
Here I have the book of the 33rd degree, 1832. This is all the secrets of the Masonic order.
Oh. Okay, so people listening, you got to go to twitch.tv, Factor Theory Live, because Sean's on there and he's showing this stuff. And it's interesting. So he's not just talking shit here. He's got this magical book, dude. Looks like something Aleister Crowley would have his hands on.
Very,
Very cool. All
well,
right.
you want to? This is what we're about to talk about, right? So
Yeah, man. Shit. Because like I didn't really plan questions for this because we didn't pre-talk only just the night before the show, so I didn't have a chance to go, okay, what should I talk to him about? Because I would have had a bunch of questions ready. Okay, well, how about what's something you want? We'll get back to the music too. I've got this show is 2 hours, so we can go back and forth. I'm one of those guys that goes back and forth. So if you don't mind just going on a trip with me,
sure.
I did bring up. I wanted to find out. Have you ever seen, you or the guys, while you were doing a show or just in your life, that they have talked to you about, seen a ghost or anything that could be considered a ghost?
We had some pretty crazy experiences when we were recording at London Bridge Recording Studios in Seattle. I gotta say that was a very strange place, and there's been a few times where we had a few kind of strange things happen with the band, where things just kind of happen or things feel kind of weird, and it's kind of hard to put your finger on. So there's been places where when we first started the band, we recorded and started practicing in an old World War II hospital in Hamilton. And this hospital, they say, was haunted, and where they used to bring the vets home from World War II. So that was the very early days of SVEN GALI, before we even started touring, going on the road. And we used to sleep there because we didn't have a place to live. We were kind of band. We all, and there was a few nights when it got a little funky, where guys didn't want to hang out there. Like they were like, I gotta get out of here. It was an old hospital, and I remember Steve McGregor and myself stayed there one night, and we got tripped out. It was a weird place. A lot of people died there.
Actually, I was going to be doing a ghost hunting show with the guys from Helix, and if you're into that type of stuff, maybe when they finally start letting us do normal stuff, and you're not on tour or building houses, damn, you're too busy to go ghost hunting.
I'll go, guys. We'll have to
Yeah, because like I've got some stuff. I tend to get, for some reason, just this, I've gotten more voices and direct contact. Like I've got a clip of my daughter's no saying I'm going, okay, Joe, I need you to speak into this, and I'm talking about this thing, and he goes, this, what is this? And he's old school Italian. You can hear the accent in his voice, and it sounds like he's right over my shoulder saying it. It just freaks me out. And then you watch shows like Ghost Hunters and stuff, and you go a whole hour with like maybe one EVP that could be a girl going, help. It's like, man, how are they not catching stuff? So I was going to be doing this with Brian and, sorry, not Brian. It was Daryl and Duckman and the other guitar player. My God, I can't believe I'm spazzing on his name right now. The twins. But anyway, the guy who does videos now. And it didn't turn out for some reason that, well, I know the reason, but I'm not going to get into it. I've gotten into it on this show before many times. Everybody listening knows that listens knows my story with that. But yeah, I'm going to be getting back into it. I've got lights and screens, a camera, a couple cameras now. This thing finally got the FLIR. That's what I've been thinking, a FLIR camera, so you can see the infrared and stuff too. Was there anything that could be UFOs that you guys have seen flying around? Because you guys have gone to like Europe and everything as well too, right? So anything freaky when you guys are flying? Oh, okay. You just joined back then there. Okay. That's the problem with Wi-Fi. Yeah. Okay. So I had just said what you guys have been flying around when you go to do your tours and stuff in Europe when you were doing the first album and stuff, did you guys see anything freaky in the sky ever at all?
I never actually seen a personal UFO, but we played some crazy places. I remember going to some old World War II bunkers in Berlin where we played some places like that. You could just feel the presence of something not right. Like it was just a weird kind of vibe, you know. A lot of stuff happened there probably in World War II and stuff like that. So, you know, feel that kind of stuff when you're touring, right? You can feel the energy when you're touring, that's for sure. For different places you go to, there's different energies that you can actually feel, you can pick up on.
Oh, absolutely. Well, part of my issue is I don't know if you believe in ghosts and stuff, so maybe you believe in empath. I'm an empath. It's part of my friggin' problem. Like you'll see me getting scatterbrained and stuff, and that there's so much going on that I'm trying to focus on talking to you. It's just freaking me out. And I live in a building full of a lot of people, so you can imagine what it was like when COVID first hit. Like you don't know what your own anticipations and anxieties and what's everybody else's. It can just be maddening. So I've had actually ghosts documented. For me, we live 2 houses down from a cemetery, and there was one night I was sleeping. There had to be 7 of us renting this place. It was a really big place. Just to be able to afford it was really nice in Font Hill. And went to bed one night. I wake up, I'm in the basement with a wood-burning stove. I wake up, the room is full of friggin' smoke. And the reason I'm brain farting on it is because I'm kind of remembering it all over again as it happened. And I'm choking, and my brother's dragging me out. I almost died. I was sleeping right through it. My brother dragged me out of the room, and I'm like, what the hell's going on? But it only took about a minute for fire to get there. They come in, they put it out, they bring us back in after they clear out the smoke, and somehow a book I was reading got put on top of the wood-burning stove. Now, I know for a fact that's not where it was. I was reading before I went to sleep. The book was on the floor beside me, and I slid it under my bed so I wouldn't step on it. Somehow, this book wound up on the wood-burning stove, which is 6 feet away from me. So anyway, we clear out the smoke. I tell my brother and his girlfriend I'm going back to bed. They're like, what are you talking about? You're going back down there? Are you stupid? I'm like, I must have threw the book there. At this point, I was like half asleep. You don't want to believe a ghost is trying to kill you. So I was like, I must have put the book there. They're like, okay, man. But so my brother didn't go back to bed. He stayed up.
To kill you. Maybe it was just trying to change your direction of life.
Well, dude, here's the thing. When I went back, I didn't want to take a chance. So I took the box of wood. There was the wood-burning stove, and beside the wood-burning stove was a box of wood. I took the box of wood. I knew the wood-burning stove was out. Took the box of wood, put it in the far corner. It's got to be like 8 feet away, the other corner of the room, and went to sleep. Woke up again with my brother dragging me out, and the fire department shows up again. They clear out the smoke. They bring us down. It was the box of wood. It was a cardboard box with wood in it. The wood inside it caught on fire.
The way I look at that, no one's trying to kill you. Someone's trying to teach you something. That's something we talk about in the Masonic Order. Things happen for a reason. Like, you might think that it's one thing, but it's actually another. You didn't die, so you're still here. You're talking to me. So there's probably something you're going to learn about that situation.
That makes a lot of sense. Yeah, since you put it that way.
It's a way to look at it.
And it's actually a very good way to look at it. I think about it another time. I don't know if you remember a guy from Niagara Falls, Bill Harris, guitar player. He used to play in a band called Danse Macabre up there. He and I were doing road painting, as stupid as that sounds, just up in Cornwall painting the lines on the friggin' roads. We pull over off the side of the road, just a simple little thing. I go to get out of the truck. Something smashes me up against the truck, and the instant I do, a friggin' truck goes flying by me with a big-ass yacht attached to it, and the yacht was this close to my friggin', it was like 5 inches away from my nose. I didn't pull myself away. Bill didn't pull me away. He was out the door on the other side thinking I was getting smoked by this thing. And I was like, no, man, something grabbed my hair.
It wasn't your time. You weren't ready.
Yeah, that was pretty freaky.
Absolutely.
Okay, so let's get back to the album again for a minute. What was the first song you guys wrote? And okay, no, actually, sorry, because like I say, I like to hop around. It was Dan. I'm remembering one of the interviews you guys did recently. Dan had contacted Dave, was it first, to get together to jam?
Yeah, the band. We were very close with Varga. We helped him get the record deal. And he was like working with the Material for a couple of years. And we did a couple of reunion shows and kind of did some stuff, and we were kind of hanging out a little bit. And Dan called up Dave and goes, I really want to be your drummer, and let's do some stuff together. So we kind of all got together at Dan's house, and we had a meeting, and we said, you know what, guys? Let's give David Bendeth a call, our old producer, and see if he wants to do something for our 25th or whatever anniversary it was. So we went to New York City, and we just started putting some music together, and we wrote "Kill the Lies," the first track.
That was the first song you guys wrote? Awesome.
And we had a lot of fun. We went to New York for what? Like, it was like almost 2 weeks. And
now, did Andy go with you guys? Was Andy in Canada, or were you guys working with him over the internet at that point?
We all went as a band. We all went to New York, and we had a great time. It was kind of like all of a sudden, here we all are together back in the studio again, 25 years later. And
pretty surreal, I would imagine.
It was weird. It's like, you know what? Time never changed. It was almost like you just kind of skipped from, we're in London Bridge in Seattle, and then the next minute you're in New York City, which is kind of weird. Wow. Time flies. That's how time is.
Mm-hmm.
You can ask Einstein about that.
I'd rather ask Tesla. I think Einstein's a bit of a hack myself.
I'm sure they both got good theories on it. So.
I like the Einstein-Rosenbridge theory, that's for sure.
Yeah, that's good.
Okay. Yeah, because to me, Andy had the coolest hair in metal back then. I don't know how many times I killed my hair trying to make it look like his.
Flash, actually. He had it before that record came out, that first Guns N' Roses record.
Yeah, big time.
Yeah, it was unreal.
Well, and you too, man. You had quite the friggin' mop too.
I had a mop, yeah. We had some mops going on for sure.
That must freak your kids out, eh? Seeing the old days pictures.
It's unreal, you know. They're like, that's my dad.
Yeah. Well, especially when you guys do Kill the Lies, you come back all of a sudden, you've got this kick-ass heavy song that is totally relevant to today. That's what I was getting at when I was talking about that dude from Sleazebees or whatever he calls himself. It was like all disappointed that it didn't sound like 1989. And I'm like, well, you know what? I stopped listening to Poison and Rat for that reason, because they kept rehashing that stuff.
You can't look back. You can only look forward.
Exactly.
So things you did in the past will kind of be help you with the future, but you always have to look forward and grow as a person, grow as a musician, grow as a band. So why would we put on a record that's 20 years old? Why wouldn't we grow as a band? Why wouldn't we try to take some chances? We have nothing to lose. We don't have anybody to tell us what to do.
Exactly. In a way, you guys are the Tom MacDonald of metal.
It's cool. It's a way to think of it, because no one's telling us what we have to put out, what we have to write.
Exactly. Coming to you and saying, hey, can we sign you to our label?
We can do what we want. It's a great feeling, right?
Mm-hmm.
So we're doing what we really want to do as a band, and collectively as all the members are now part of SVEN GALI.
Mm-hmm.
It's just following what we think is right. So we don't really care what people think, to be honest with you. We're doing what we want to do, and we're trying to stay true to our fans. But in the end, you got to make yourself happy, or you're just kind of fooling everybody.
Well, dude, this album is like comparatively, and like I'm talking about all the bands out there. Like Stryper, I still think puts out some quality stuff too. Michael Sweet, kick-ass, but a lot of them are just, it's like they're phoning it in just to have something to put out at their next show to try to make a few bucks, and that's to me, that's not, especially for a band that went away. Like you guys were gone for a while. A comeback. This is a fuck it. This is a fucking comeback. I'm not supposed to F-bomb on my show. I can swear, but I'm not. It's Sven fucking Gali. Okay, and
we're not trying to like focus on our past to say
exactly. Well, that's the thing, though. It was never about a style of music, really. Sven Gali was always about an attitude and a feeling and a vibe. You know,
would never go back and redo "Love Me Do," right? Would they? Would you see them coming over with their haircut doing "Love Me Do"? They would never do it.
So, well, look what happened with Metallica when they tried to redo like Unforgiven 2 and stuff like that. You know, it just doesn't work.
It doesn't work. You got to be yourself. You got to just stick to what you do and let everything take its course because it's gonna anyways.
Mm-hmm.
That's the way I think of it.
Who does Dave do a lot of the lyric writing?
Absolutely.
See, like I couldn't imagine writing those kind of lyrics and stuff. Well, he would like have to shoot himself to try to stay the way he was writing back then when he was 20 and 21 and 22. I mean, like, come on, you know. And this stuff is just and he's a vocalist, man. Like vocalists need to be able to sing. This is the kind of stuff a vocalist wants to be able to. The other guy was also going, well, Dave doesn't get to shine on a lot of these songs. I'm like, yes, he does. He's just shining in a different way, a way that you don't like, dude. But this stuff, I think, the way he's singing the now, okay, that song, for instance, the screams and yells and let's now and the gird, like that's freaking perfect. You know, like that's what a singer should sound like.
We're not going to go back and redo Under the Influence. We will never do.
Love Don't Live Here Anymore again or something. No.
Yeah, we're moving on.
Oh, and the kids, I mean, it's got to be so. I keep bringing up the kids because I can just picture how cool it would be to have a dad that was a rock star. And you didn't really know it. But then all of a sudden you found out he used to be, and now all of a sudden they're back together, and holy shit, it's a great friggin' album. You know, like, just wow, holy fuck, where's my dad? You know, like,
which is amazing. I can't even imagine, like, Dave's got kids, I got kids, Andy's got kids, Dan's got kids. You know, it's like backstage, it's a bunch of our kids, right? So it's.
But the cool thing is they're like, oh, well, your youngest is 16 now. Is that your youngest?
Youngest is 12.
Youngest is 12. Okay, I got a 12-year-old girl myself. Okay, so yeah, I was gonna say they're old enough to have a beer with you, but no, they're not quite yet. Got to give it a few more years.
He drinks scotch in your house.
Nice.
Only on Shabbat, though, which is a Jewish holiday.
Nice. Okay, 8:39. There's a clip I want to play for you. Okay, yeah. Now remember they were talking. Trump had come out and he was talking about hydroxychloroquine.
Yeah.
And everybody started losing their shit. I went to my doctor and said I want it because I knew about it long before all this. 8 years ago, I did an interview.
Just go to Mexico and ship it in. It's very easy.
Yeah, well, it's hard for me to get a hold of it here in Canada. Well, we got to talk because, like, you know, this guy I interviewed, dude from. You ever see the show Ghost Hunters?
Yeah, absolutely.
The Irish dude Barry.
Mm-hmm.
I was interviewing him, and he told me about hydroxychloroquine like 8-9 years ago. He was talking about it because it cured his dengue fever, and it cures malaria as well. So this is a clip from that interview.
Yeah.
Or actually, I better do reshare on the sound. Stop sharing.
It was
Everyone's
for malaria. That's what the drug was originally invented for. So
exactly, and it was 10 cents a pill back then.
yeah, it's very cheap because they use it.
Yeah, because it's not a conspiracy; it's a fact. They have enough money; they could cure everything that's wrong with this planet and still be the richest people on the planet. And they just won't. Do it.
You know, I ended up with dengue fever whenever I was out in Nicaragua.
Mm-hmm.
I was so ill with it, and I didn't know what it was until I got checked out with the doctor whenever I got back to Europe. and it was confirmed. Then you got dengue, and there was another doctor in Germany, a German doctor who offered me the cure for it. And I said, no, there is no cure. And he says, oh, there is.
Yeah.
And I at that particular point, I was willing to take anything, and I took it. 6 hours, and it was gone.
Wow.
All traces of it was gone, and it cures malaria in 4, and it costs 10 cents.
You know, because it's money.
Everything has a cure out there, but
exactly.
there's no money in a cure, as we know.
Exactly.
I believe it.
And it was shortly after that the call started breaking up. I had never had anybody break up because he wasn't using Wi-Fi. He was on a PC hooked up with the line to his computer the same way I was. And we started talking about time travel, all kinds of stuff that I guess they did not want us getting into. It was pretty trippy.
Well, there's lots of things going on in the universe, in the world. What's going on? I think the Congress is coming out probably at the end of this month with a whole report on what's going on with the unidentified vehicles that they're seeing, not from this world. I don't know if it's true or not, but
no, they've already came out and said that, dude. You know what? It is true. Pentagon, well, they may not be from other worlds. They could be ours, but these things are real. The things we're seeing, Pentagon's even said it.
I don't think they're ours because no one would be able to survive. And the actual material they're made of, there's nothing on Earth that we could make to actually take that physical force to move at that many G's and dive into the water that fast. It would break up. So
it would be a field around the craft itself that negates all of that.
You find out, but they say it's not American, and they can't rule out anything. So that's all we're going to find out.
That's what they're saying, yes, but. Yeah. They haven't been. I mean, they've been flat out denying all this stuff for how long now?
Oh, many.
And what do you think of Roswell? You think that happened?
I think lots of things have happened. I think our whole history of mankind, dating way back before the ancient Sumerians. God's there. He's real. We don't know exactly. If you read the Torah or if you read Genesis, it doesn't say exactly the way man was kind of created in the kind of something else. So we don't really know. We might have been put here. We don't really know the truth, but there's definitely more to our history than what we are being told.
Absolutely. I believe history has been rewritten and written several times.
I know that the Bible's rewritten many, many, many times, right? So I believe, that eventually we will find out. It might not be in our lifetime. It might be in 1,000 years. It could be tomorrow. We don't know. But there's definitely some things happening, and I think we're getting closer.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, I kind of want to keep poking the conspiracy bear for a second here. Here's a clip that I played for Dr. Sala actually came up with a cool explanation for this. I'm going to play it for you and tell me what you think he means by what he's saying. This is an astronaut. I can't remember which one at the moment, but he talking about going to the moon.
I'd go to the moon in a nanosecond. The problem is we don't have the technology to do that anymore. We used to, but we destroyed that technology, and it's a painful process to build it back again. But going to Mars should be one of the next series of steps that humans do. The first step should be going back to the moon for a number of technical reasons and exploration reasons, and then after that, Mars, maybe high orbit in Venus atmosphere, maybe going to Europa. There's all kinds of targets to go to, places of interest in our solar system. The only limit to human future is in our own imaginations.
Okay, now he had mentioned about...
I'll tell you what he's saying. We got rid of that technology. What he means by that, we lost that technology before the flood. That's the way he's saying that. So
You really think that's what he's talking about?
Absolutely, 100%. We lost that technology. We don't have it anymore. That technology was there. That's what I.
You think he's talking about before the flood, like the biblical flood?
Absolutely.
Elaborate a little bit more if you care.
Well, if you kind of go back into some of the Old Testament and the Torah, it talks about the Nephilim and the giants, and there's a lot of stuff that were there. And we had technology. We know that the technology was there. And I think what he's saying is we had the technology to do that stuff back then, and we lost it. We lost the Library of Alexandria, which is the Masonic culture. There's some stuff that kind of got moved over, but we lost a lot of it. And I think that's what he's referring to. He's kind of talking between the lines. He's not going to. We don't have that technology now.
So, do you think we went to the moon?
Absolutely.
Do you think we went with the Apollo program?
Absolutely.
Okay. Because I don't. I believe we went to the moon.
We went to the moon. And I think, there's more to that whole situation. I think there's definitely stuff on the moon they're hiding from us, but that's part of the whole.
Well, I mean, to me, because everything looks like it is faked. So if we did go, then it had to be faked because they're hiding what was there.
Some of that footage is real. Some of it's probably fake. I'm sure it's a mixture. I'm sure it's what they want to tell us, right? So a lot of this stuff is how they want to present it to the people.
Yeah, exactly. I'm one of those guys who likes to read between the lines, and I look for. Actually, I'm talking to Stanton Friedman. He was the one who told me that they like to be evasive, and he goes, "Oh, we won't lie, but we'll be evasive and stretch the truth and stuff like that."
They'll tell a version of the truth. That's the way I look at it.
Okay, now I'd like to get. That's right. Okay, Trump topic. Now, you're not a Trump hater, correct?
No, I worked with the organization. I'm friends with. I met the family, and I did work with George Ross from the Trump organization. We raised a bunch of money. I brought him to Hamilton. We did a sold-out talk on the Trump organization. I did an event in Toronto called Trump Strategies for Real Estate. And we raised a lot of money for St. Jude's Children's Hospital. And for anybody who doesn't believe that we actually gave the money, I have in my office the actual letter from St. Jude's Children's Hospital that I will share with you if you'd like to get it.
Yeah, your picture's frozen up for some reason. Now I don't know if that's because of me or because of your phone.
So can you hear me now?
Oh, I can hear you, but your picture is frozen, the video?
Oh, I'm so sorry, but
oh, that's okay.
There's probably people watching us trying to stop us from telling the truth. So,
but the look that you're frozen on your face is like, what you talking about, Steve?
So, anyways, if you want, I'll forward that actual letter from St. Jude's Children's Hospital where we gave the money, 100% of the funds from the event to help kids that are in need.
Yeah, if you can send me a copy of it, that'd be awesome. Then I'll pop it up.
If I'm in the office, I'll forward it to you. You can post that.
Cool beans. Are you going to put it?
Go ahead. Say it again.
Are you going to put it in the chat window here that we're using?
Yeah, when I go to the office tomorrow, I'll send you a copy of it.
Oh, tomorrow you're going to do. Okay, awesome. Yeah, then I'll pop it up on the next show, or I may do another show, live show tomorrow night.
Steals money and they don't give money to charity. Blah blah blah. Well, I got proof of it. I can send it to you.
Awesome. Yeah, because a lot of people try to pull that shit. Oh, but well, another thing I was talking about with Tom MacDonald, all day I had been watching videos, reaction videos. Of young black people watching Tom MacDonald doing songs like Fake Woke and all that stuff, talking about the facts about what's going on and how Hollywood celebrities don't give a crap about them. And and they're getting it. You know, it's like it's so cool seeing the change in their eyes, and them like talking to each other, going, "What did he mean there?" Well, I think he meant this, and because of this and this, and they're like, "Oh wow, man, that's deep," and it's like, "Holy shit." You know, a white kid from Canada is making these guys wake up and get off the Biden plantation. It's incredible.
The Biden plantation's going too far, and the whole, Elon Omar, and we're finding out now they want to say that Israel is an apartheid state, and they want to teach it to our kids in our grade schools. So.
Mm-hmm.
I think that there's a big divide out there, and either you're on one side or you're kind of on the other, or you're on the fence. And I think it'll kind of work its way through the system. It always does. It might take time.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to be pain. It's going to, people are going to be either on one side or another, and it's going to take time to kind of work its way through the system. It always does come out in the end.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
It's going to take something big to change it. That's what I think. Some real truth or something's going to come out that people are going to go, you know what? I kind of believe this, but I just found out this, so my mind is kind of changed on the whole subject. So it's going to be something like that changes it. It's not.
We need to push people off the. Yeah, it's going to be some. Well, like this stuff with this Tom kid, man. The stuff that's the kind of stuff we need. It can be something like that. It could be as simple as writing a killer song that explains something that changes that person's point of view, goes and changes his buddy's point of view, changes their family's point of view, and by the next election,
disclosure of what we know about what's out there, what these UAPs are. It could be something like that. We don't know. But it's going to take something like that to change the minds of people to get away from
Reagan said, right? Reagan most famously kept going on and on about, I sometimes wonder if what would happen if we were facing an alien threat, And
Obama came out a couple of weeks ago and talked about it, and he didn't deny it. So I think. We're moving in the direction. We might be moving slower than people want, but I think eventually we will get to the answers.
Well, the thing is, most of the rest of the world already knows it. For some reason, we're putting all our hopes and dreams on the American military coming out and going, well, okay, it's real. Like, they're the ones coming up with stupid excuses like balloons and swamp gas. Everything's a balloon or swamp gas. Like, come on.
The way people work is they want the government to rubber stamp it. It's kind of like COVID. If the government says you should get a COVID shot, everybody runs. Well, a lot of people run and get the COVID shot because they believe their government, that's the way it is. And that's the way we've been kind of herded as people. So if the government comes out and says, well, we neither confirm or deny, you're still going to have half the people that don't believe it. Until the government rubber stamps it and says, this is real, 100%. We are telling you this. We're going to have these issues.
Mm-hmm.
That's the way I kind of look at it.
Oh, it makes sense to me, man. Yeah, absolutely. Okay, we are at 8:54. We got about a minute or two before break coming in. So, people listening at home, iTunes, TalkStream Live, Shoutcast, Winamp, TuneIn is the other one, I think it is. Come down to revolution.radio or www.freedomslips.com, and you can sign up with chats. You come to the chat room. Everybody in there is pretty cool. They're all very knowledgeable. A bunch of the hosts from the station hang out in there. And we get videos. Man, they even just like old songs that you haven't heard in 20 years. You'd be like, man, I was just thinking about that. Just stuff like that. Come on down. You can click on donations. We could use some donations. Who doesn't like donating? Come on. You can go to the archives, check out your favorite show, go to the schedule, find out when it's playing live, and go to the store. We got some cool swag, and they're going to make me go to zazzle.ca And I still want to get, this shirt here, the revolution.radio, time to jump in. We got a kick-ass new mug here. You even got clocks rocking now, people. You got to get down here and buy some swag. Okay, and if I'm not mistaken, the music should be starting any second. We will be back. Are you able to stick around for the next hour, Sean?
I can't do a whole hour, but I can do maybe another 15 minutes. Is that good?
Okay, cool beans. Yep. All right, we'll be back with Sean after the break.
To find myself in self-defense. Tear these paper walls around you and make some sense. Anger, violence, empty silence. Feed the hunger to make amends. Fight for what I need. Hide beneath the weeds. Oh, so empty.
All right, that was Kill the Lies from SVEN GALI. I'm here with Sean MAHER, the bass player and producer of the video for Hurt. And do you put together all the videos for the songs now?
I did all the videos.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Because that one for Kill the Lies, didn't you just use some stuff from a different video?
I kind of went through and took a whole bunch of cool shots and made a montage and kind of had to sync Dave up. It was a complicated video because...
Oh, I guess, because I noticed that you'd have Dave's mouth syncing up to some of the words wherever you could.
Special effects. And then the third video we did for the new song, Hurt, Andy wasn't even there, so I had to shoot him a green screen. And then we had to comp him in, and then we had to shoot his parts in China and put it all together. A lot of people don't realize that.
Oh no, it looks seamless, man. It's beautiful. You got the right effects on the screen at the time to just make it look like he's standing there with you.
Yeah, it's all about the vibe and the lighting and just kind of trying to make it work in the edit, right? So.
Mm-mm. Oh, and geez, where was I going next? That's what happens when I take a toke right before I want to ask a question.
I was reading the Kabbalah in the 33rd degree book here about the Kabbalah, which is part of our teachings in the Masonic order, which is kind of cool. You know, it dates back well to ancient Samaria. And so you're taking a toke and I was reading. So
nice. Okay. Well, it's actually so it's kind of probably a stupid question, but what do you think of the job that Doug Ford's doing right now for everybody getting things? Do you think this guy has a clue?
Politics is a hard thing, you know why? Because so many people are on both different sides, and I don't want to alienate people. So
that's true. That's true.
As a musician, as an artist, and I start talking about politics.
That's true. Yeah, it can. Yeah, cancel culture can come off hard. See, I go after like I'm in the middle. So to anybody listening, I'm not putting down. I'm putting down all sides. You know, when you're being stupid, I call you on your bullshit.
I'll talk about aliens, and I'll talk about the Freemasons, but politics, I don't know. It's
probably It's geez, it's a bad subject this day and age.
Even though I have very, 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 very strong views on politics.
They're yours. Yeah, you know, they're yours, and the public doesn't really necessarily need to know them. Oh, okay, actually, because you don't have a whole lot of time left anyway. So you remember, I wanted to get your opinion on this because not too many people have heard it. You remember Darby Mills, of course, right?
Absolutely. I love Darby.
She was one of the very first interviews I got to do before the last head injury, and I became brain dead. And I thought I was just gonna have a cool little interview with her, and she'd tell me about a UFO she thought she saw. This is a clip. This is only 3 minutes, but I want you to hear the story she told me because it's just friggin' mind blowing. Okay, so this is Darby Mills and her ghost story.
Ghost stories. I've got a couple. Both of them definitely set me back and made me think twice about reality. The first one, I mean, they both happened in about the same year, which would have been in 2000, I don't know, 2004, 2005,
So
around
that long ago. That's cool. Okay.
Yeah, not all that long ago. No, I was definitely an adult and had had my children, and you know, I had a fair amount of life under my belt, and Headpins were playing a show in a old hotel in downtown Red Deer, Alberta. I wish I could remember the name of the hotel. It is no longer there. It got torn down probably 2 years later. But so we were just about ready to go on. All the boys, with the exception of myself and the bass player, were out on the stage getting ready to go. We were just waiting for the last 5-minute stage call, and the bass player had his head down and his chin on the bass, and he was, you know, warming up, listening to his bass and just playing away. And I was standing. It was a very, very small, tight room, 2 single beds. I was standing in between the 2 single beds.
Okay.
One table that the TV was on, an old fat TV. It wasn't a flat screen or anything. This was a very ancient hotel. So I was stuck in between the 2 beds. I couldn't leave the room because the bass player was in the way. And I was just standing there watching the TV, just zoning out a little bit. And all of a sudden I was handled in such a way that had it been a person, they would have been down on the ground, as I am a retired black belt in martial arts. But
so it was an inappropriate touch.
It was an extremely inappropriate touch, and it was not quick. It was somewhat long, and I spun around and was like, "What the hell?"
And of course, none of the guys were touching you. Wow.
Well, it was only myself and the bass player in the room, so I stopped for a second, sat down on the bed so that it didn't happen again, and just looked at the bass player and said, "Abner," and he's like, "What? Was there somebody in the room with us?" Like, there's no way there could have been, right? There was nowhere for him to get out. It was an extremely small room. And he said, "No." I'm like, "I just got groped by a ghost."
Wow.
And he's like, he said, "I was just sexually assaulted by a ghost."
I gotta tell you, I'm getting chills. When you said you had a ghost story, holy crap.
Yeah.
Wow. Have you seen that movie, The Entity?
No, I don't do a lot of ghost
See, and I can guess why, especially after something like that. But yeah, there was a movie about that where a ghost was actually like raping a woman and stuff in this movie, and it's based on a real story. That just, wow.
Yeah, I mean, and it was a sexual assault. It was.
So, like, you can imagine, right? I'm trying to start a new ghost hunting show and a conspiracy show, and I've had a crush on Darby for years, and she was like, "Yeah, I'll do an interview with you." And I'm like, "Okay, so you got a cool ghost story?" And she comes out with that. Like, how can anybody top that?
SVEN GALI wasn't around when she was doing there, so I can tell you that wasn't us.
Yeah.
But I'll give you a surreal story. So people think of ghosts as one thing, or things being surreal, or things happening where time kind of things happen because of time or because of what you think. I'm a big believer in visualization. So I've always been in the belief whatever you visualize in life, you can make happen in reality. Does that make sense?
Manifest destiny. Yeah.
That's one of the most important keys to life. I think that a lot of people don't realize that whatever you put your mind into or whatever you think, you can make happen. So I remember being about 14 or 15 when the first Def Leppard record came out. And this is when it kind of really hit home that this really works. I remember listening to it on a record player going, "Man, I'd love to tour with these guys one day and be on stage with them." think I was 15. Within 4 years, I actually walked out on stage in front of 50, 60,000 people and toured with them.
Yeah.
When that happened, I realized it's like time never changed. It was like all of a sudden, this was in my house, in my basement, with nothing. And the next thing you know, I'm in front of 60,000 people. It's like time just kind of like went boop, and here you are. Think about it, happened. So when that happened in my life, it changed my life. It made me think of things completely different. And that's just as powerful as seeing a ghost or.
Oh, absolutely, dude. It sounds like you had a kick-ass awakening I wish that had happened to me at that age, thinking, because I believe what you're saying, and it's right. It has happened to me, but not at that age. It took a long time for me to realize.
1 in a billion? What's the chance of seeing an alien? Maybe 1 in a million. So, it's just a thought, something to think about.
But I've told this story actually, sorry, often on my show. When my ex and I broke up, she was trying to take off with my daughter. We were going through court stuff. Went to court with her one time. They all had briefcases. I had a paper bag, basically, a shopping bag.
Yeah.
I felt like this big. I just felt like.
Don't judge a book by its cover ever.
I beat them in court because I knew what I was talking about, but I looked bad in court as far as the way I was dressed and having a shopping bag instead of a briefcase. But I was bound and determined. I was taking a walk one night and I was like, I'm getting a briefcase no matter what I got to do for this next court date. I went to the store. I came back to where I was 5 minutes earlier. It was like 11:30 at night. There was nobody there. When I walked by, there was nothing there. When I was coming back, there was a brand new briefcase sitting on the park bench, wide open.
In life, absolutely, I'm a believer in that, 100%.
That's what I call manifest destiny.
Yeah, absolutely. There's a whole chapter in it in my 33rd degree book here.
Yeah, well, see, I have that ability to make that shit happen. I know I do, but the problem is I keep living in the depression. Right, and so I keep making that. I keep creating that for myself.
Put that behind you. Whatever you put in your future, that's what happens. So think positive, think happy thoughts, and be positive, and just enjoy life, brother.
As silly as it sounds, but yeah,
it's a pleasure hanging out with you on this conversation.
You too, brother. It's been great, and tell Dan I want to talk to him one time too. It'd be great to talk to Andy in the future too. And everybody, this has been Shawn Maher, bassist extraordinaire.
It's Shawn Maher Minden.
Shawn Maher Minden. Gotcha. Okay. And bass player extraordinaire for the kick-ass SVEN fucking Gali. And catch them as soon as they get on the road. You guys got anything booked, or you just got to wait?
I think with the Hamilton Place show has been pushed. It's sold out. And then I think the Sound of Music Festival, we're still supposed to play it. I'm just looking for a new date. So we do have some shows coming up. And you come back and you make sure you hang with us and have a drink. I'll get you a pass. You can come out and go with us. And we'll tear it up and we'll have positive thoughts, man.
Absolutely. And everybody make sure you check out SVEN Gali on Facebook, their Facebook page, YouTube page. You guys got a SVENGALI.com?
Absolutely.
And go to all of them. Buy some merch. At the very least, buy one song. You're not going to regret it. Then you'll end up buying the album. New album coming out soon? Full album?
Sony Records this year is going to be re-releasing the first record, believe it or not.
Oh, awesome. Okay. That's so something to look forward to. And we'll be back in touch in the next month or two anyway to see how things are going.
Yeah, it was a pleasure, brother. Stay positive, and it was a pleasure doing your show.
Thanks a lot, Shawn. You rock, brother.
I will send that stuff as I promised tomorrow.
Cool, bud. Have a great night, and I will play you out. This is SVEN Gali, a clip from the song Now.
Ciao.
Yeah.
All right, so that was Shawn MAHER Minden. Oh, sorry, or is that Minden Mayer? Are you still there?
Yeah, it's Shawn Minden.
Shawn Minden. Gotcha. Okay. You have a great night, bud, and we will talk to you again soon. And to everybody listening right now, once again, make sure you just come down to revolution.radio and freedomslips.com. You can scroll down, become a patron on Patreon as well.
And I'm going to tell you what, I'm going to give you a couple passes to give out on your radio station for our next show, free, to come backstage and hang with the band. I'm going to send you one too.
Awesome. That would be fantastic, dude. And yeah, because we got a lot of listeners too. And let us know when you guys are touring everywhere, because we've got listeners worldwide.
Passes, come out, hang out, and we'll have a blast. We'll talk about aliens and UFOs and the Freemasons.
You are officially my new favorite person, Shawn. You have a kick-ass night.
Ciao, bro.
Ciao, bro. All right. So what I want to do now is when I was talking with Shawn, I was bringing up Tom MacDonald a lot, and yeah, I'm man crushing on the guy because holy crap, like I like Shawn says, I love all music, and especially if I can dance to it or it's got a good meaning. MacDonald's stuff is not necessarily made to make you want to dance. It's there to make you think. And this is one such song, and I'm going to do commentary to it. Now, normally you're not allowed to play. Well, he's not. Yeah, this dude's not going to sue us. He wants the truth out, and this is revolution.radio. Plus, I'm going to be stopping the song to do commentary over it. So it's not showing me what the title is, so I'm just going to play it. It's the one I want to play. I just can't remember the title. So here we go. No Lives Matter.
Hip-hop diet is full of guys who cannot even rap. Media dividing us by colors, white or black. If you believe in Jesus, these days Christians get attacked. If you don't hate police, then everybody thinks you're whack. And everything's so connected. Black Lives Matter got so aggressive. White folks who agree can't support the message. Both sides go to war because they don't respect it. Our social climate from the global tension turned to total violence and a whole depression. We could unify and then I'll go against them, but we let them divide us with votes and elections. Hey, the music we bump, all about shooting guns and doing drugs. Hey, whoa. The things that we want are promoted subliminally through the songs, like you need a fast car, you need designer clothes, you need a rap star to tell you to start popping pills, hit the blunt, and go live at the club till you're broke. It's
okay, so if you're paying attention to the lyrics, this dude is going to end up being killed. You know, if we got to watch it. He's even, I was going to bring up, this dude even has a song about clones, about how the artists we love and that's happened. Eminem, I believe the dude's a clone. The real Marshall Mathers is dead. They killed his ass because he wouldn't play their shit. So they cloned him, and now they got their puppet. Dave Chappelle, I think when he took off to Africa, when he had his little meltdown, he was killed and replaced with a clone. That's why he looks so freaking different too. And Tom gets into that shit. You know, what's the other songs? But as you can hear by what's going on in this one, just mind-blowing. And so this is kind of stuff that's going on that all these young black kids are listening to now, and it's waking them up. So back to the song.
all controlled by the elites. Put fake news all over our screens, convincing the right to go fight with the left and distract from the fact that each other we need. Divided by race and religion, segregated into teams. You a white supremacist. If you're not, I guess you Antifa.
Screaming from the rooftops, beat down better. Turn us on each other now, no lives matter. If we do what the news wants, blood gon' splatter. Turn us on each other till no lives matter.
Freedom's dead. If you have an opinion, take it back. People hate the president. If you don't, then you trash. Indoctrinate the nation using news and mainstream rap. The government abuses us. It's all part of the plan. And it's so confusing. Black Lives Matter is a valuable movement, but all lives matter ain't racist or stupid. It's non-black humans who don't feel included. All colors fall under laws to govern the whole country, and we all suffer. We're all broke and nobody recovers until we accept that we're all brothers.
So basically, I really don't have too much to say about what he's saying right now because it's just self-explanatory. But for copyright reasons, I'm stopping it, doing a little bit of babbling, and here we go, back to this kick-ass song.
Hey, the music we make, all about big booties and getting paid. Hey, whoa, we watch the news and it fills up our brains with violence and riots and race. Like this is a race war. You need to hate more. Get what you came for. You need some songs about Xanax and violence so you can escape more. What a vicious cycle we can't break away from. They control the culture, they control the paper. They're indoctrinating a whole generation till the patriots start to hate the nation. The music we love make us dumb and addicted. The news that we watch is brainwashing the children. The viruses, riots, and racist conditions ain't problems, they're symptoms of life in the system.
Screaming from the rooftops, beat down better. Turn us on each other now, no lives matter. If we do what the news wants, blood gon' splatter. Turn us on each other till no lives matter.
So this guy is just blowing minds and pissing off people all over Hollywood and in the government, definitely in the music business, because they're trying to, if I read the report from earlier properly, they're trying to get, he should be number one right now. They're what do they call that? They're playing with the numbers anyway to try to keep him out of the number one spot. I think Nicki Minaj, it's alleged that Nicki Minaj has something to do with that. He's just calling out all rappers and stars for being materialistic bitches and turning us into brainwashed sheep just so they can make money. And that's why they're going to want this kid dead. And we need to protect. They're all saying it. You go check out his videos on YouTube. We need to protect Tom MacDonald. Damn straight. Get this kid a bulletproof vest, some body armor. And his wife. Well, they're not married yet, but damn, his girlfriend's super cute, kick-ass rapper herself and singer and does all the videos. That's another reason they're going to want them dead. Look, this video he's doing, for another rapper to do this, if they had a director and everything else to do it, it probably would have cost like $500,000 to do a video like this. That's how much would have been spent from a record company on a video for an artist. This dude probably did it for like $500 on budget at home with his girl shooting it. And actually, it may not even cost that much. I'm probably saying that much just from props and stuff that they've bought and accumulated to use in their videos, because they do videos for each other, and he produces her music too. And they're doing this all at home and now they're living large, don't have to worry about record companies taking their money. Now they just got to worry about record companies killing their asses. Back to the song.
The music will make you dumb, the media makes you hate, and they control them both. There ain't no escape. They put the world in a state of chaos, economy crashing and massive layoffs. Black against white, or it's left versus right. Divide and conquer and control is the payoff.
Screaming from the rooftops, beat down better. Turn us on each other now.